Hi everybody, I'm Noell Hyman. Normally you'll find me at paperclipping.com, but today I want to share something with the Allie Edwards audience. One of my favorite ways to add some playfulness to a layout is to place embellishments in a way that they look like they're bubbling up from inside of a corner. Here's an example of that concept. These two photos make a corner here, and I've bridged the two pictures together with this circular piece, which is a sticker and part of a flower. I crossed over the circle with a rectangular item, which runs parallel with this photo, and then I added a few embellishments in a way that they look like they're floating from this corner like bubbles. Here's another example of that concept on a two-page layout with 4 photos. This is my corner right here. This is my circular piece, and it's a screen printed transparency. This is my rectangular item, and then these are my 3 embellishments that are bubbling up away from the corner. The big difference between this one and the other one has to do with weight. This transparency is very light in weight. It's got a white color, it's mostly clear, and it's got a hollow center, whereas the buttons are heavier in weight because they're chunky and they're a darker color. So it makes more visual sense that the buttons are a little bit lower on the page and closer to the photos, whereas the other layout, they were up floating away this way. I'm going to show you this concept step by step on a third layout so you can see the variety of pages you can make with this one visual concept. Start with your background paper, whether you want to use pattern paper or cardstock, it doesn't matter. And for this layout, I decided to add some paint to my background. I've also already got my journal in place, but the next thing you want to do is add an anchoring line lengthwise to give your photos a foundation to sit on. I've used 3 strips of pattern paper from my stash of scraps, but you could also use ribbon or gaffer tape or any other form of a line. And then you can add your photos. And I think the best type of photo to use for this layout or this concept is a rectangular one because it's really easy to make that corner there with your second smaller photo. For this one, I've added some foam dots so it'll pop up a little bit, and I'm just going to go ahead and put my photos in place. Now you'll want to find some sort of circular arch, and for this layout I've just cut out a circle from some scrap paper. So I'm going to stick it in here, have it bridge my 2 photos together, and then I will cross over it with this strip of paper here. And I'm going to set it up at a distance to where the alleyways between the photos and the papers down here are all equal to the size of the alleyway right here. Since these pieces left so much empty space here, I'm actually going to add an extra piece, and that's this little journal spot which I cut to size. It's from Making Memories, and I added my date to it. And now I'll go ahead and add my bubble pieces. And once again, I'm going to use buttons. But for these buttons, I wanted to give them something else that was interesting. And so I've added these little pieces here, and those are from these thickers by American Craft. They're just the extra little stars and periods that come on that paper. So I've got these placed in a visual triangle so they look like they're floating up this way. Now I've added my title, and for balance I'm going to complete this visual triangle that I've started by adding this one last piece here, and that just tells his age. So I'll put that down, and now I've got a complete layout. Placing your embellishments this way when you've got photos at different heights will connect the photos together, and it will lead the eye from one to the next. It will also add a playful and happy tone to your layout. You got to give it a try and see what you think. See you later!